Agri Champions, your weekly dose of what's brewing in the commodity space. I'm Manisha Gupta. Well, the focus of the show today is the agriculture space, where we have seen plenty action continuing from the government, from the state ministries, etc. The main concern for the farmers in 2018 also was prices for their produce, leading to agitations across India. The sector has been hit by demonetization and GST. Against the claims of rupees 14,453 crores made by farmers for crop losses in Kharif 2017 under the Pradhan Mantri Fasal Bima Yojana, insurance firms paid mere 733 crores so far, a payout ratio of just 5%. The payouts crashed because the states hadn't paid the premium, and of course the government has increased budgetary allocation since for the sector and launched several schemes to reduce input cost. However, their implementation has remained tardy. Also, the big MSP announcement that we saw in 2018 and the government assurances on procurement also have left much to be desired. The farm prices have continued to decline, and we saw much of that below the minimum support prices as well. We also did see the farmers in Maharashtra and Gujarat hit by the drought. The government, however, set its sights higher and announced an ambitious plan to double farmers' income by 2022-23. So plenty has been done in the previous year, and 2019 perhaps will see the fruition of many of those schemes that the government did announce. The important point also is that Ashok Dalwai committee will now oversee the implementation of its recommendations so that the promise of doubling farmers' income is actually achieved by 2022. Let's get in the man himself, and we are now joined by Dr. Ashok Dalwai, who's Additional Secretary, Ministry of Agriculture. Dr. Dalwai, hi. Thank you so much for joining us. First of all, the hot topic really has been the farm loan waivers, and 8 states in last 3 years have announced farm loan waivers. Has it in any sense changed the farmers' plight?
Now as far as loan waivers are concerned, I am sure that all of us are now aware, both Honorable Prime Minister and the Honorable Finance Minister have made it pretty explicit that loan waiver is not a solution to the issues that relate to agriculture. We understand, yes, that there are as many as 8 states which have done, and there is quite a clamor for more of loan waiver. But then all of us must appreciate that loan waivers do not do any good in the long run. And government is committed to transforming the agriculture so that the farmers are able to access credit in a more robust manner, and simultaneously are they able to utilize it properly and earn remunerative returns on that. I guess the way forward should be that, because any kind of loan waiver or any other such palliative is only a one-time solution. In fact, it may not be a full solution either, even in the year in which they get this loan waiver.
Well, yes, we have heard those statements, and it is a reiteration of that really. But even then, there have been so many farm loan waivers. Also, Dr. Dalwai, there has been an announcement of many schemes in agriculture, as we have seen. Do you think it is really about more schemes, whether it is short-term, intermediate term, longer term, or the need really is about better governance and ensuring implementation of these?
While we have this medium-term target of doubling farmers' income, we shall transform agriculture in the long term such that it comes to become a private enterprise that is based on profits. And that's how we have been tackling various issues relating to the agricultural value system that will address the critical concerns at different stages of agriculture. That includes the pre-production environment, the production segment, as well as the post-production segment. And we have had several new schemes rolled out, and more would be rolled out. However, since agriculture today faces the challenge of monetization, where the markets have not yet risen up to the expectations such that the farmers are able to earn profitable returns, there is a clamor in certain circles. Over the last 4 years in particular, what we have been seeing is that despite 2 bad monsoon years, the productions have been actually increasing. And today in 2017-18, for which we have the data, the country has ended up with record output of food grains, fruits and vegetables, milk and several other commodities. And all of us must appreciate that market prices are predicated upon a demand-supply situation. When surpluses outstrip the demand domestically, the prices are bound to subdue, and that's what has happened. However, we also appreciate that agriculture is always vulnerable to certain fluctuations at different stages, including market fluctuations, and therefore there would be requirement of the government to intervene. And it is only with this particular view that government has come out with a very broad-based procurement scheme called PM Asha. Earlier we had procurements normally confined to paddy and wheat, and over a period of time, slowly and steadily, certain other commodities like pulses and oilseeds were being procured, but at a very nominal rate. However, in the last particularly 2 years, the robustness of procuring both pulses and oilseeds has gone up. But now with 2018-19, rolling out PM Asha, it broad bases the procurement operations, and it includes all the 23 commodities for which the MSPs are generally notified. And so today we are seeing across the country that historically high procurement of pulses, historically high procurement of oilseeds, and of course pulses, paddy and wheat is happening. And the states and FCI have been advised to also procure the nutri-cereals like jawar and ragi and bajra, whenever the states agree that they shall integrate the procured commodities with the PDS or any other welfare scheme.
Dr. Dalwai, what can be really expected for the agri sector ahead of the elections? Because there is an expectation, there are lots of options being seen at right now, whether it is the direct benefit transfer to the farmer, or is it going to be the universal basic income? But just taking a step back, we also have seen the Model APMC Act, which was announced in 2003. We saw the Warehousing Receipt Act in 2006, and we've seen some changes in these acts as well. So while we have acts running as back as 2003, which are still yet to be implemented by many states, what is your sense of the newer schemes, newer acts that the government is talking about right now? How rational would that be?
Farmers need to be supported. For example, let's look at the cost of production. Now, if we would like to rationalize the cost of production, there are two ways. One is that we help the farmer to get better yield, so that at the same investments that he's making, he is able to get better returns per quintal. And simultaneously, the input costs, for example, whether the use of fertilizers, use of water, use of pesticides, all these can be rationalized by way of advising the farmer how to use them better, and then also bring about necessary changes to the fertilizer control orders or the Seed Act, etc., so that more and more private people are able to actually get into the market, produce them at competitive rate. And government is certainly focusing on all these aspects. That is, in short, what is called ease of doing agri-business. And yes, in the short run, we have seen examples as in Telangana, for example. I think that's what many people are talking to. Now we'll have to look at what is the outcome of that. We will see what are the studies that have been conducted as to what extent this input investment support that Telangana government, for example, has given to farmers has helped the farmers. Now, that kind of support, I'm not aware of it, whether the government would be looking at all those things. But then, that certainly, as I was telling you, that yes, the farmers will need some support on input management as well as output management. So, on input management, whether there can be kind of a support is one solution. And on the output management, we already have solutions. That can we make procurements more robust? While market reforms are a long-term solution, in the immediate run, we need to focus on better procurement. And the PM Asha that has rolled out only recently is now doing very well. NAFED, for example, which is one of the premier agencies in procurement, the government has given it greater guarantee support so that their operations will increase, and they've already procured very high quantum of pulses, very high quantum of oil seeds, and we will certainly look at, as more and more requests come from states for procurement, they will be considered. I think the farmers will be looking at that. If the market prices have fallen below the MSP, naturally better procurement would be a support to the farmers.
That point is well taken. Yes, we do need short-term, long-term reforms and immediate steps perhaps from the government. But I want to really come back to the schemes part yet again, Dr. Dalwai. And to implement schemes, you would need relevant, credible data. I mean, in India, we've always seen that when it comes to farming, when it comes to agriculture, it is quite fragmented. It's not easily available. And what the data that we begin with tends to change over a period as we go ahead. So even when we are talking about direct benefit transfers, etc., whether it is about the computerization part of it or the land digitization, etc., what is your sense on the kind of data available, and is that really enough?
So far as the schemes are concerned, I won't be able to say anything now because that is a government decision. But we can only say that as implementing agencies, the government, the state machineries, the executive machinery is capable of handling anything that the government directs. Because today we have the advantage of huge databases. Let's say within our own ministry, we have a database of the farmers based on the soil health card. We have issued soil health card in the last 3 years to all the farmers in this country. The second cycle of soil health card has begun. We therefore have a database which can be utilized. Then there are other databases where welfare schemes have been given to the farmers as general citizens. So I think there are different databases available both at the central government and the state government, and it is today possible for us to integrate these databases quickly, and whatever transfers have to be done can be done. As you know that the direct benefit transfer after Aadhaar came into existence, it has been tried out in several schemes, whether it is scholarship for the students, the pensions for the old and the widows, for example, where the direct benefit transfer is already happening, including, for example, in LPG, where a direct benefit transfer scheme is in operation. That means today India has got good experience of handling DBT for different kinds of schemes. Now, if that is so, nothing should be difficult if we would like to transfer anything to the farmers. So I can only say so much that I am not aware of the scheme that government would be bringing, but if and when the government takes a decision, then the executive machinery is always capable of rising to the occasion and using the existing platforms to achieve what the government directs.
Dr. Dalwai, so finally, what is your sense? I mean, as you said, you perhaps, the government is still not ready with a decision on what we could see in sense of agriculture. But what is your sense on 2019 for agri sector? I mean, there have been, again, I go back to the same point, plenty has been done in 2018. But is that enough? Is it fructifying finally into this year? And what more really needs to be done so that we do not see a repeat of 2018 into the new year?
The government has come out with an agricultural export policy for the first time, which is a comprehensive policy with an integrated approach to promoting agricultural exports and also building up track and trace backwards. So these are the interventions which are going to take better shape. So I would say that whether it is micro irrigation or soil health card or the use of neem coated urea or the use of ICT advisories to the farmers, all these things are getting more and more stabilized. And with this kind of intervention, because all these schemes have got a specific aim, either they are there to reduce the cost of production, either they are there to increase the productivity, or they are there to ensure better returns. So all these three, which have had some lag period of 3 years, will now start showing results, better results in 2019-20. And one more I would like to share with you. Let me also share with you that we are also aiming at a crop geometry, a new crop geometry. And the new crop geometry will ensure that we start moving towards pulses, oil seeds, and nutri cereals like jawar, ragi, and bajra, because they are the crops for the rain-fed area. Because what the government is aiming at is not only to increase the income of the farmers unilaterally, but simultaneously bring about equitability. That means the farmers who are earning less must get better. We have identified that there are 150 districts in the country which are highly drought prone, and there are at least 29 districts in the country which suffer from double whammy. They are subject to climate change and simultaneously they are extremely vulnerable to incomes. So government is now going to make intervention in drought proofing these 150 districts and also to address specially these 29 districts which are suffering from double disadvantages of income and climate change implications.
Well, that's good to hear, Dr. Dalwai. Thank you so much for joining us. So that really is the latest view coming in from the Agri Ministry, as Dr. Dalwai says that his committee, of course, has been given now the authority or directive rather to implement, ensure that the farmers' income is actually double by 2022. And as, of course, as he said, that all the schemes and all the things that have been rolled out since 2014 will now start fructifying as we see 3.5 years being passed by. And as he said, new things coming in like the geometry of new crops and also that DBT isn't such a great issue are the few headlines that we are getting in from the Agri Ministry right now. But with that, it's time for a quick break. On the other side, when we return, we will also have with us MD of Just Organic, Pankaj Agarwal, joining us to talk about the organic farming and exports and what really has been done in that sector by the government.